All right, guys, so this is where we're going to show you the power. Now, here's this clip that I have here, and if I zoom in, again, it was an auto exposure, so I didn't, this right here, I would have basically crunched that down so it wasn't so bright, right? Now, if you look in here, we've got, it's pretty overblown. Like most of this data, really, if we're shooting on Rec 709 video, it's lost. You can't recover this, right? But check it out. We got a little bit of room left here. I mean, and this is really overexposed right here, this little area right here. So what I'm going to do here, first thing, if I go down to gain, right? Gain is the high end of our, on this scope down here. You see all this stuff here at the top. This will be my gain here. Now, if I grab my gain, check it out. You can see it pulling down, right? That's my gain, right? And look at all that, man. We're still getting a lot of data left. Okay, but there's some data that just will never be gone. It's burnt, it's gone, right? But we can still got a little bit here. So I bring that down. And then what I can do here is also go to highlights. If I drag my highlights down, it even dims it a little bit more, right? Okay. And then the one thing that I notice here, we also have in DaVinci highlight recovery. After I've just crunched all that down, it will still try to bring out some more data. Now, look at all this extra data that we recovered, right? Check it out. Before, after. Now, there is an issue. If you look closely here, it's got this pink tint on it, right? This is where I say we're starting to break the file. We're like I say, here's the file and here's the limit. Now we're digging into the file. Like we're digging down into it. So like this is where we're breaking it now. We're getting too deep. But we can still, like if I take the highlight and just back off of that again and just keep backing off, backing off, backing off. Okay, right there. I can save a little bit more. And then same with the gain. If I back off that gain, okay, we brought a little bit in back again. So let me turn that off. Highlights recovery. Actually, that actually looks really good without the highlight recovery there turned off, right? So again, just we have options. I have options now to try to figure out what we want to do with this. And I think off it looked a little bit better here, right? And then just scroll around there. Yeah, that looks actually really better without the recovery on this time. Look at that. Look at the difference. Okay. But there is a limit, right? We're going to reach a limit of how far we can go. But this is just to show you how far we could go. And then I notice here, like, okay, my blacks here, I'm losing some data here. Like, I want to be able to see what's going on in this area here. So what I'll basically do here is I'll grab my shadows and just lift up on my shadows. Lift up, up. Look at all that data we just, look at all the, now you can actually see there's a sign in here in the shadows. Look at that. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Look at all that we just recovered, guys. This is the power of DNG. I'm spitting all over the place. This is the power of DNG files. Look at that, right? Let me go back and crush that. We were back down here. We couldn't even see there was a sign there. Check it out. Boom. Look at that. We bring that up. And then what I would do is take my lift and then kind of lift it back down, right, to bring some shadows back in there. And then what I'll even just kind of just a little bit on my contrast, bring in a little bit of my contrast there. And again, this area here is just lost. Like we're not going to recover all that data there. You know, if this was an area Alexa where you got like 30 something stops, or I don't even know how many stops of range, of dynamic range those cameras have, it's more than you'll be able to capture all that data. But hey, this is a lot for a cell phone, right? So I'm thinking, but for me originally, since I know it was shot like this and it was already blown out, I would just typically leave it like this and basically try to just kind of finesse it in there, try to finesse what we can save out of it, right? And again, it was overexposed, so it's overexposed, whatever. It's like, do you want to have the detail in these shadows or do you want to correct this? Right? That's why I'm saying when you shoot it, you in camera, you got to get it as close to what you want. And I'm going to leave it like this because this is literally, the sun did come out and it was super bright at that moment. So that's how it basically was. I'm happy that, look at all this detail we got back here in the shadow, right? Super fantastic. And this is the power of DNG files, guys. If I wanted, it is a little blue, but it was a little blue there, right? So I can do my color temp. Check it out, shift it in my blue, or if I can go back, maybe we want to shift it a little bit warmer. But check out what's happening here to this area, this clipped out area. Look at the color shift on that. That's where we know we're pumping it too much. It's too much, right? It's too much. So go ahead and turn that back off. And then let's go ahead and now look at it. Now the color shift is not as much, right? So again, that's why I fight to always do manual exposure. I think I'm going to color balance it right there. Boom. So I'll go ahead and make that full screen for you guys. And that's what we're looking at. Not bad. This is Man, that's fantastic. All the Let's do one more clip, right? Let me bring in one more clip. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in one more clip. There was another one that was really problematic for me, and I think it was this clip here. So I'm gonna bring this one in here. Bring it over there. Yeah, this one, this guy was really crazy. Again, so it's already been conformed here. So clip attributes, it's already at 1.5, right? Boom, there, it's already at 1.5. And here at the bottom, it's not stretched. So I'll go to scaling, I'll go to stretch, and then it brings it in like that. And then what I want to do to fix that is go ahead and zoom out, and then I got my 0.67, and then that will zoom it out, and then boom. Okay, we don't close that. We don't need that. Jump into my color tab. And this is basically what I started off here. Let me close the clips up here. We don't need to see that either. And we don't also need to see, where is it? Effects. Good. Just give me some more room here. Now, again, you don't, if you use just the normal color wheels here, like this, like, we got control, but we don't have that raw control, right? Like, this is just our primary wheels, and it's just our primary wheels and our log wheels here. So look at, I mean, we got a little bit of control here, but if you want to get into the raw, you got to go to the raw settings here. So let me go ahead and reset that. That's where you go up to here, camera raw, and then you go in here, do your clip, and then you want to do your major work. I tend to do my major work here. And here's the sky again. Again, when I exposed this, it was auto exposure, and it is what it is because it was automatically trying to. The phone doesn't exactly know what I want to be exposed. I kind of want an even balanced shot, but unfortunately it wasn't. So here's our sky, and here's this area. These areas are really bright and overexposed, especially the sky. But the sky looks like it might be a little bit savable. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. So I'll jump in here, and then the first thing I like to just go highlight recovery and see what we can do. And it looks like we got a little bit of highlight recovery there on that building, but whatever. Let's turn it off. First thing, I go into my gain, and I'm just going to pull my gain down. And I kind of watch my scopes here at the top to see how much data and what I'm doing. You see this line here? That's burnt. We're not going to recover that, okay? And then what I do is I go to my highlights and drag that down. And then you can see we're bringing a little stuff back, but the highlights are just getting more this dingy color. They're not going from white to this dingy color, right? It's not doing too much. And again, let me see my gain, right? Okay, so then I pull that down, and if I kind of scroll in here, and you can see the auto exposure was kind of exposing it, going in and out right there. That's why I hate that. That's why I always lock it. But anyways, that's about as good as we can possibly get. Now, if I click this highlight recovery, now look at the difference it made on this clip versus the other clip. But we did that. Look at the sky now. Look at this coloration here. Look at that. See, as the auto exposure was compensating, you can see it. You can actually see it working. The pink goes away and it goes down because it was auto exposuring, right? So what I'll do is park it there where the pink's at, and let's see if we can just dial that so we can get rid of the pink. I'll go up on my gain a little bit, up on my gain, and then let's bring up the highlights back. Okay, there we go. So now it's kind of, we don't see it there anymore. So that is about as close as we can possibly get without it being, dug into. Hang on, we can't see the full file fit to screen. There we go. Let's zoom in just a little bit. So it is what it is. That's why it's important to expose it correctly. Doesn't matter what camera you're shooting with. This happens even on an Alexa or a Red. If you overexpose past the limit of the camera, you can't save that data, guys. And this is the same principle that I used when I was just doing normal cell phone footage, not raw DNGs, just my normal, filming with a cell phone. I always try to avoid having burnt exposure. Now, even if it's going to be burnt on the top or it's going to be underexposed on the bottom, you got to find a happy medium in between. And then that's where you got to get that sweet spot, and then boom, right? Okay. And then this clip, as far as color-wise, it looks like pretty much a little bit blue. I'll bring in a little bit of warmth into there, just a little bit like that. And then the shadows here, let's see what we can get in shadows. Look at this area here. It's pretty dark, right? Let's go ahead and lift up our shadows a little bit. Lift, 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 lift. We're getting some data back in there. And then on my lift, I'll kind of just bring it back down. And then just bring in a little bit of contrast in there. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, let's see what this looks like without the recovery. Highlight recovery. Highlight recovery is making a little bit of a difference, but not that much of a difference. So, boom. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Again, I'm gonna be pumping these videos out a lot. So, Patrick Levar. Don't forget, we got the merch going on there. PatrickLevar.com. We got our mobile filmmaker search and stuff like that. Keep filming, guys. It's the only way you'll get better. I mean, come on. Raw DNG with 1.5 Anamorphic. Come on, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Email list, all that jibber jabber and all that stuff and that YouTubers say at the end of videos. I'm over it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!